And welcome back for the third and final part of the brief layout tour of the Charleston, Roanoke, and Eastern. This is the Charleston staging yard. This is west of the yard at Lewisburg. This is Charleston, West Virginia. And the staging yard represents Charleston and other points west of Lewisburg. In the foreground is a branch line we'll get to in a minute, but the main line actually ducks down underneath all this plywood, disappears from view briefly, and will re-emerge here on the lower level. Down below, what's the branch line location? Main line climbs. There's not much to the main line over here actually. A lot of this is going to be sort of not obscured from view, but not really accented or highlighted in scenery because I'm going to focus on the branch line here. But the main line continues to a location called K&N Junction at Meadow Bluff, West Virginia, and here is K&N Junction right here. The yard at Meadow Bluff handles coal to and from the branch. The CSX shifter has arrived here, as you can see, and there's also some NS coal. And as we come through Meadow Bluff, you'll see there's a small yard there for coal. There's a scale track. We weigh some coal trains here. And then we continue through the wall, and on the other side of that wall is the access to Lewisburg Yard, which was beginning of part 1 of this video. Alright, moving back west, back to the CSX train again. A little bit blurry there. This camera's not really staying in focus, it doesn't look like. Apologize for that. At Meadow Bluff, we are going to pass through K&N Junction again, and then we'll head up the Kessler Northern branch line, which is the coal branch that sees so much traffic. This is the former location of Ajax number 1. It's now a Georgia Pacific wood yard. We'll have some wood chips and logs coming in and out of there. Still have to figure out the traffic routing on that, but in due time I will. First loader we come to now is the Crawley loader. We have load tracks and empty tracks here. The loader itself will be on that short little single track section right there. We have Crawley, and then we have a location called Raiders Junction. At Raiders Junction we cross the CSX Nicholas, Fayette, and Greenbrier line. It's the Raiders Run industrial track going across the K&N here, and into a stub-ended staging track that will represent the Raiders Run loadout. CSX shifters come up here and work this, and that's where we get some of our interchange traffic between the CSX Shenandoah Division and the K&N branches. The K&N branch itself continues in the foreground in front of the Charleston staging yard. Following along, we cross Big Clear Creek twice. There's a place on the map that made that look like that would be kind of a cool scene, so I'm going to work on that. And then we enter Kessler, West Virginia. Kessler's a passing siding location. There's a depot here, and there's a Y here. The Y is the connection with the Clear Fork branch. It's another flood loading operation. That's off stage, so a flood loaded coal train, the unit train, will originate on that branch, and empty trains will terminate there. We have Ajax number 2 here. That's a raw coal loader. That raw coal comes right out of the ground into those hoppers when it's loaded by front end loaders or whatnot, and we'll go to a processing plant, which we'll cover here shortly. Continuing through Kessler, we now have the Austin powder facility where blasting powder will be delivered, and we have an aging loadout that sees some activity but no loads today. This is the Kessler Big Mountain loadout. And this here is Ajax number 2. And it's another raw coal loading facility. We'll continue on around to Sam Creek Junction. And at Sam Creek Junction we have a branch called the Sam Creek branch, which is what you're seeing in the foreground on the left side here. K&N main line continues through the middle there, and that other track off to the right is a connection track with another one of the pieces of the CSX NF&G line. The K&N itself goes up inside this, what was going to be a mole staging area. There's not a lot to see in there yet, but track goes all around that inside, and we're going to have an interchange with the B&O up in there and the Virginian and Ohio as well, and some additional coal traffic. Since it's requiring a duck under to get in there, it'll be just a quick, brief, probably once a session operation. Back to the junction here with the Sam Creek branch. We're going to continue down the Sam Creek branch now, and we first come to Ryder siding. Ryder is just a storage track now. This is the old Ryder loadout, which, even though nothing's really in place here to suggest anything really exists, old Ryder will not exist anymore. It will be just a track for storing locomotives or storing cars. But the little passing track here is used to store cuts of coal that come from the prep plant, which is down here across the bridge at Sam Creek. The other half of the Top Gun loaded train is there in the background. There will be a flood loader in there, and that's where we'll load processed coal from the raw coal that comes in. The raw coal will come into this little two-track yard here, and there'll be where this little critter engine is stopped right now with a cut of empties. That's a car dumper. They'll theoretically dump the raw coal. It'll get processed here on site and then shipped out as unit trains headed wherever. So that's the end of the K&N tour. The only other thing I could show you is maybe I could get sneak a view into the mole here. This is the rest of what's going to be the rest of the K&N at the north end. The right of the view is the B&O line, and there's some interchange down there, and that's about it.